YouTube channel, Brew. My name's Chris, and today is just really a catch up on what I've been up to and what's going on in my brewing life. I also thought I'd go through the progression that I've been through with brewing. So I'll start with that. So it started off a few years ago. I decided I wanted to make some beer. There's a guy at work said, you know, get yourself a extract kit and just crack on, make yourself some beer. I bought a kit that came with a bucket, came with a set. It was Woodford's Wherry, 40 pint set, came with a pressure barrel, all of that. I did it, I made that, and I ended up making it about 3 or 4 more times after that because it was really good. It was so easy to make. It takes about half an hour, all in, put it in the corner of the house, and yeah, just crack on. Just did its thing, chuck it in the barrel, put some sugar in. It was great. Slowly I decided, well, the next thing I should do is the pressure barrel. I found that after you'd gone through a few pints of a day, so if you decided, oh, I'm going to have a couple of friends over and we're going to hit a few pints, the pressure that's built up in the barrel doesn't quite keep pushing the beer out, so it starts to, it'll bubble back into the pressure barrel, so you're getting oxygen in there. Then you start screwing those little CO2 canisters on the top, and you go through about 4 or 5 of those in a session. And I read up that basically you can get permeating oxygen through the walls of the... Anyway, I decided that the pressure barrel for me wasn't ideal and that I'd stop bottling. So I bought some bottles from a place online that sells by the 50. So brown bottles, obviously. Started capping and all of that. And it was a real mission. Bottling day is always, it's never fun. Cleaning and sanitizing and all of that. But I did it for about a year. Even when I moved into brew in a bag, which is kind of my next step. So instead of doing an extract kit, I buy the grain, and I bought myself a pot. So it was a single vessel system, a pot with everything in it and a tap on. It was from the home-brew shop, I think. It's a 56 litre pot, big bag. Used to do everything in one, and I did that for ages really. Actually get some really good brews out of that. It's a good space saver. It's basically just one thing that you spend your money on, and actually, yeah, it worked really well for me. So I was doing that, and I was bottling, and I got to the point where I did a brew day, and I got to the end of the brew day, and I realised I had a bottling as well to do, and I ended up bottling all the beers and brewing it. It's about a 7.5 hour process, and I was knackered. I was like, you know what, that it stopped being fun, and brewing's supposed to be fun. So I just said, you know what, screw that. I'm not gonna bottle unless I just bottle the leftover bits. So I'll brew like a 23 litre batch, buy some kegs, keg 19 litres of it, and then just bottle off the last 4 litres just to keep in the back of the garage, let them carbonate and age properly, get through the kegs, and if I need something, I just scratch around in the back of the garage. There'll be plenty of stuff waiting there. About the same time, I got a fermentation fridge. That really sort of ironed out some parts of the beer making process for me, where if you have your fermenter sitting in the corner of the house, it's not bad, but you're never going to get your temperatures right. You're never going to get your temperatures, you know, within a degree of the target. So I've got that. I've got a heat belt, I've got the fridge, and I've got an STC 1000 connected up to both, and that keeps my temperature within a degree of my target. So yeah, I did that for some time. I probably did about 30 odd brews on just the brew in a bag system, and then I decided to move on to the second vessel. The second vessel was mash tun. So I got the typical cooler mash tun with the bazooka and all of that, and it's been working great. Done quite a few brews on that already as well. I'm not sure if I put in any of my other video when I was doing the brew that I don't have a third vessel yet. So what I have to do is heat up my strike water put that into the mash, and once I've mashed out, then I need to put the next batch of water in. So I have to put that into another container of any type, and then do my sparge effectively with that. So straight it back into the kettle that heated up the original water. So that's the plan for Christmas. I'll get the third vessel, which will be like a Burco boiler or something like that, something that can maintain a decent temperature. Even though I'll do most of the stuff in my 56 litre kettle. So what I did there is I've added a second element in there as well, because the boil wasn't quite strong enough for anything over sort of 35 litres. Just took a long time to get up to the boil, and it really just wasn't that strong, and you can't have a covered boil. So for me, I just thought I'll buy another element. And actually it was quite easy to make a hole in the side of and it's a pretty cool task when you smash through a stainless steel pot and you add that element yourself. It's a typical thing for home brewers to try and do all this kind of stuff themselves and learn and just keep going. So yeah, that's my last brew I did on that. Was one that Dino did. Tube Dino's, I think his YouTube channel's called, and he's from New Zealand. He did it's a lager. It's called, I can't remember. Anyway, it's out in the garage lagering, but that had a lovely rolling boil on that. It was really good. So I'm very happy with it in all. Also, I got up to the boil faster. I managed to heat my strike water faster. So I'll probably cut about 45-50 minutes out of my brew day. I use a normal chiller at the moment, just a copper wort chiller. So my next purchase is going to be a plate chiller, because I've heard great things about them. You know, you literally take about 20 minutes to chill down and get it in the fermenter, which is amazing. At the moment, I'm at a point where I haven't brewed the same brew twice, except for my chocolate milk stout. I've just been experimenting over and over again, slightly changing things, or just trying totally new recipes, or downloading, or buying clone recipes or whatever. So I think next year what I'm going to do is I'm really going to start getting down to exactly what I like, and make sure that I'm brewing the right beer for the right season as well. Like having a lager in your garage in November might be good in New Zealand, but it'll be well aged before it's good for drinking over here. So here in the UK it's freezing, good for lagering. So I freed up my brew fridge last night, so it's Monday night tonight. On Sunday night, last night, I'd actually bought a extract kit, St. Peter's India Pale Ale. It's a 5.5% ABV. Just looks like a lovely. I've never done that kit before, and basically the guy who taught me loads about home brewing, Ian, I told him about, we talk about it all the time, and he said, after all this all grain, every time I'd bring him a beer, he said, that one's fantastic. He said, enter a competition or whatever. But what he also said was, get yourself an extract kit, brew it up and see if you can tell the difference. Because I kept saying, these extract kits are fantastic, you save so much time. And so, yeah, I brewed one up, and in a few weeks' time, I'll be able to have a taste of that. But it was so easy. It's just so easy. Like when you think there's a gap in your pipeline, your beer pipeline, you can just bang one of those out in half an hour. It makes your life a lot easier than having to plan and find the time for a brew day. I have 2 young kids, and getting the time is sometimes a bit of a mission. But in short, I still think for me personally, a brew day, not much beats a brew day. A couple of beers, planning ahead, getting all the bits in. Well, one of my other little niggles is that every time you buy something from one of these online brew shops, it's always like a £5 delivery charge. I mean, you can go on there and you can buy yeast. I haven't got yeast for the weekend brew. £5 delivery charge. It's better off buying it on Amazon. I don't know why they don't have a sort of small package you know, $1.99 or whatever it's going to cost them to post it using Royal Mail. So that's probably one thing they could do to help there. But you always end up finding that you buy enough stuff, enough grain and everything, the hops and etc., for 3 different brews. So you do find that you don't want to let your grain get old, you don't want it to get skunked. So you're like, okay, I'll do a brew this weekend. Once that's fermented out, once I can free up the fermentation chamber, then I'll get the next one on. You end up getting like sort of batches of beer and trying to find in the state of 6 months, 6 weeks or something, you're trying to get 3 brew days in, and it can be quite difficult to find that amount of time. But yeah, it would be nice to be able to have somewhere local, actually, just somewhere I could pop down and go and get my grain. Well, actually, I live just south of Dunstable, so if anyone knows anywhere in the area that I can go, that would be great. Just drop me a little comment in the feed. There was another thing that came up on BrewTube the other day. I can't remember who put it on, but it was like put your marker on the map to see where all the home brewers are in the UK and around the world. There's loads. Oh, it's amazing. It's actually, I encourage you all to have a look for that. Look for BrewTube official. I think it's on, or maybe it's on both. And find the link and go and put yourself down. You might be surprised that, you know, it's easier to do a beer swap than to do a beer mail. And you could drive a couple of miles down the road and swap some beers, and could learn something, could end up getting some recipes or whatever, you know, and just exchanging some ideas. So, yeah, at the moment I'm still drinking the Bollocks, which is my best bitter. That's a 5.25 at this one. I've got my chocolate milk stout in the keg. I still haven't bottled the stuff that I put the orange peels in, and I fear I might have left it too long, but we were away at the weekend, so I'll probably do that tomorrow night. It's only 5 litres, so it shouldn't take too long. And I hope that still works out well, but I'll feed back on that anyway when I do the glass side of my chocolate milk stout review. But yeah, apart from that, I think my next beer is probably going to be like a West Coast IPA or something like that, but maybe steer away from Citra and Cascade this time, because I've been doing Citra and Cascade like with maybe a Mosaic or an Equinox or something like that, but maybe I'm thinking try something different, something totally different, maybe a different grain bill, put some oats in there for a bit of mouthfeel. So I don't know if anyone's got a recipe out there, something not too strong, you know, 5.5%, a nice hoppy front to it, not overly malty. Let me know. That's all I got for today, guys, but this is my first ever Homebrew Wednesday, filmed on a Monday. So keep brewing, guys.